Hey y'all, I just uploaded a video. I decided to do another one. I'm seeing a lot of these on YouTube about I'm sitting on my floor in my bedroom. Like my best Wi-Fi is like right here, my bed's right here. I am so weird. Anyway, so I've seen a lot of these on YouTube. I know it's not as bad as a lot of them, but to me at the time, it seemed, oh my gosh, like I couldn't escape it. So I'm gonna change names just for the sake of, I don't know, probably safest to be honest with you. So when I was in high school, I guess it was my senior year, I was dating a younger guy, and so there was this, like, I guess he was a freshman or sophomore, I can't remember which, but there's this dude at that school, for some reason, thought I was like hot shit and do you want to be creepy? Well, it started out as like little cutesy little waiting for me, like to talk to me after class, but then I soon realized he knew where every one of my classes were. Like he never really followed me. Like he was an underclassman, I was a senior, so classes weren't really within too close proximity to each other anyway. So it started out as that. It started getting a little weird. And then like he'd follow me around in school, and I was dating this other guy that he knew that was older than him, obviously. And so like my boyfriend at the time was getting a little weirded out too, being like, hey, you should say something. Well, what can they do? I mean, it's high school. I mean, they haven't physically threatened to harm me, so this kid, I'll call him I was about to say the fake name was the real name. Max. That's so far from his real name. Anyway, I'll use Max, and for my boyfriend at the time, I'll say his name is Tom. Max and Tom. So Max, he'd commonly wait for me after my first period. It was English. His first period was like a hall down, so I mean he knew where that one was. And so the other thing is, he knew people that worked in the office. Like he was a goody two shoes, for the most part. I mean, and he didn't seem creepy to anyone else in my. At least I don't think he did. But I will also say this: I didn't find this out till later, but apparently, where I live, there's a homeowners association, and his parents were on it. His dad was like the head of the homeowners association. Like where I live is like a richy type of place. It's like lower middle upper class, I think, or upper middle class. Anyway, so apparently his dad was the head of it, and so like if he could lie and say some whatever and could get us in trouble anyway. So I didn't find this out till later, till I saw him at this old grocery store that we used to have that closed down. Anyway, when it wasn't too far from my house, that's how I found out. And I saw him in the phone book and our directory for our area. Anyway, so it started out as that kind of thing, waiting at class, and it started getting a little weird, and then blatantly, like, I started feeling like he was following me around the school and like trying to just talk to me nonstop. It was like whatever, but it was kind of weird. I had a boyfriend, and this kid was like a freshman. He was like 15, 16, whatever years old, and he was underage, and I was 18, almost 19. I turned 19 after, like 2 months after I graduated that year. Anyway, so it seemed kind of weird, and then he started following me around school, and I thought it was weird. And then my boyfriend at the time, Tom, I forgot his fake name. This is why I don't like using fake names, because I forget them. Anyway, so Tom, eventually, one morning, after first period, this was senior year, of course, Max was waiting for me, and Tom physically, like, and this was self-defense, like, he was defending me. Like, I literally gotten a physical altercation with him because he was being a creep, and they both went to the office, and Tom didn't get in trouble because he was defending me. But Max got in some trouble, and I don't know if it's called a restraining order. It's something to where that's in school, for school, like, you can only come within a certain amount of feet of them. Like, they say that just in case if you have, like, a class next to each other. I mean, we had some, like, in the same hall, just other ends of the hall, since he was an underclassman, I was an upperclassman. He could only be couldn't be closer than, like, 300 feet of me. But then after that's when I found out he lived in the same area as I do, and actually not far from my house. The reason I know that is because I saw him out and about on the street, like, so you go out of my house, and go out of my driveway. I have a really big driveway, like that. Anyway, so, and I go up the hill, and then when you get to this 4-point intersection that's in my area, he lives down that street. At the time, apparently he moved. I gotta tell you about that too. So he lived down there, because I saw him skating or walking or riding a bike or whatever. That's how I knew he lived down there. I was like, oh shit. Like, and then that's when I found out. My folks were like, hey, what's that guy's last name? I'm like, and then I told them, and they're like, oh, his dad's the leader of the homeowners association. I'm like, great. Like, they could say some stuff, get us kicked out, because where I live, there are certain guidelines, like, you can't have, like, an American flag flying unless you have it approved, or there's only certain flags you can fly, and you have to have, like, a standard type of mailbox and whatever to have a house there, and that's just too ritzy for me, in my opinion, but only for safety reasons and creepy reasons, I'm not going to disclose where I live. I might disclose what state I live in, like, future videos when, yeah. But this kid just freaked me out. And then eventually, like, I graduate, nothing happens. So, this was recently. Okay, so I'm engaged now. I'm getting married. And about a year or two ago, I've been with my fiance for a little over 2.5 years, since April 12th of 2015. Yay. Love you, by the way, baby. Anyway, so I found out that I thought I saw this kid again, but oh my god, he lives near my fiance's parents. I think it's in the same apartment complex. I found out, and I was like, oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Like, no. And then, my fiance's brother was on Facebook, scrolling through his friends, and I saw this kid on his friends list. I was like, no, delete that kid. And I told him the whole story. The original story is more, I don't know, more suspenseful and more entertaining. But I told him the story. I'm like, please, like, I'm not telling you this to be like, oh, you shouldn't. I'm not bullying. Like, this kid stalked me in school, and he eventually deleted him. Like, and I told him the whole story. I was just like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. He hasn't resurfaced yet. I don't think he's that bad. I just think he just had a bit of a crush, and he was off his rockers a bit. But I'm glad nothing happened after that, because I feel like he's gotten older. I mean, I'll be 24 in like 2-3 weeks, and he'll probably be 21 or 22 this year, or something like that. 21. So, yeah, he's matured, or he's just gotten better in his ways. I don't know, I've always been afraid of stalkers ever since then. I was the fan of Pretty Liars, like, oh my god, if it happened to me again involving this guy. But anyway, that's my uninteresting stalker story. I didn't have anything written down, because this was literally spur of the moment, like, seconds before I started filming this. But I can do a more detailed version of this later when I've written stuff down. I don't like reading, because I can't look at this thing and do this, because then it'll just seem too scripted. But I might do a more detailed one later on when I've written things down. But for now, thank you for watching. Peace out, yo.